What up, Gospel Diaries? Of course, this is Eric Maurice Clark. I am in Phoenix, Arizona this particular time, bringing you a very special episode. Last night, I attended, actually presented an award to the legendary Overstreet Brothers, who recorded right here in Phoenix back in 1963 with their dad, Reverend Overstreet. Oh my God, I've captured some amazing exclusive footage, and I'm so excited to present it to you all. And pretty soon, hopefully, Lord's willing, I will be able to reconnect the brothers to Mr. Chris Strachwitz of Arhoolie Records, the record company that actually recorded them back in 1963. It was divine by God how they recorded, because they were back in Louisiana singing on the street with their dad. And Mr. Chris, he wanted to record them, and Reverend Overstreet, he relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, and the story goes that Chris found Reverend Overstreet right here in Phoenix. So let's take a look at the footage that I have captured with the Overstreet Brothers.
Tell you about our young folks that's taking over. Lil Alvin also sings. He will probably be here today.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be here.
And I know that Pastor Alvin was on his way.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was on his way. I called him as soon as I got here.
Hi, what up, Gospel Diaries? Listen, I'm so honored to be sitting with just this reverend, someone that really became a part of gospel music history back in prior to 1963, but the album came out in 1963. But man, his father, Reverend Overstreet, really made a large impact in gospel music history and African American religion. All right, so I'm with the one and only brother Alvin Overstreet. Say hello to Gospel Diaries.
Hello, Gospel Diary.
How you doing today?
I'm wonderful.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So nice to be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Tell us about your upbringing.
Well, it's just been church. I'm a PK kid, so I'm a preacher's kid. How you doing? I'm a PK, so I'm a preacher's kid. And I grew up in and around the church. My grandfather was a preacher, my dad was a preacher, and we grew up in the church.
Wow.
When nobody else was there, we were there.
So tell us about music in the Overstreet home.
Well, my dad taught us to make harmony by what you hear. Mm-hmm. And then you make harmony, if he changed keys, you were always able to make harmony, because, sometimes he would get hoarse, because at that time he did most of the leading, and he did the preaching and the praying, and he would get hoarse sometimes. A song we would not normally sing, and we had to find a harmony while we were standing at the mic to sing, So that was the music in Overstreet family. We could be riding down the road, and he said, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." He said, "I got this song, and I want you all to put something with it," and he'll start singing. And if we don't do it quickly enough, he'll tell us what he wanted us to do. Or my oldest brother, he would think of something, and we'd start doing that type of thing. And that's the way that we would make harmony as we went. Or we could be on the street and he starts singing something we've never heard, and then we'd have to make harmony with whatever it was.
That's amazing. That's your brother Albert just said this, not the exact same words, but in so many words. He paraphrased exactly what you just said. But I want you to take us back to, I think it was it 1961 when you all moved here to Phoenix? Was it 61? Yes. Okay, so take us back to to update you all, Gospel Diaries. So Chris Strachwitz, the founder of Arhoolie Records, he was so fascinated with Reverend Overstreet's voice that he literally followed him, Reverend Overstreet, to Phoenix, Arizona. So tell us about, how did you all get to Phoenix? How do you get to Phoenix?
Well, my dad woke up one day and said that the Lord told him that we had to be in Phoenix, Arizona for July the 4th. That's the rest of my family.
Oh wow! Tell them, come on over here. Oh well, okay.
That's my brother's wife.
Oh,
that's the
okay.
first lady.
Now this is
my pastor, superintendent. This is my brother. He was ill.
Oh wow!
He was ill the last time when you wanted to do an interview.
We got enough seat on there. Come on, sit on there, man. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, sit down there.
Well, I mean, we had a pleasant surprise. Tell us your name.
Yes, Superintendent Robert Overstreet.
Robert Overstreet. Okay, so look, we were just talking about you all's commute to Phoenix, Arizona from Louisiana. So chime in. So tell us about that ride to Phoenix. What was going on? Was it just spontaneous? Did you all just get up and just move to Phoenix? What happened?
Well, we had a very spontaneous father.
Did he say the Spirit said? That was pretty much it.
And we were, I think I was 12. And so we followed. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So when you all got to Phoenix, what happened? So how did St. Luke? When did your dad found the church? Like, when did he organize the church, St. Luke?
We came to St. Luke in 1961, the month of July.
And he is the founder of the church, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
The church that he had was started in '58, and we came to Phoenix and started having what you call a street service, outdoor, at a place called the Trotters Inn.
The Trotters Inn.
Right on between
Broadway.
24th Street and 20th place going on, and that was one of the. My dad started preaching, we were singing, and all of that led to a pastor, Garland, that heard us singing, and invited us to the church. And my dad conducted a revival, and had about 50 converts. And he was led of the Lord to turn the church over to my father.
His family are they still members of the church?
Some come occasionally.
Oh wow!
But his mother Garland, which was his wife, she passed about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow!
And she served there until I passed.
Wow. So last but not least, I want you to kind of explain the experience of recording with Chris Strachwitz. You know, you all were recording within the church, outdoors. Like, explain that experience.
It was indoors.
Indoors, okay.
And it was like an experience that we'd never had before, really, because we when it started, and he more or less recorded it as it really happened, the raw service.
Yes.
And if you can go back, almost 60 years in your mind, the way things were at that particular time, and many of the things that he recorded, like the saints was just carrying on dancing and rejoicing in the Lord. You didn't need praise dances and all that, people putting on and stuff like that. That wasn't needed then, because the old, the young, literally going forth in the dance. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh my God! Well, I think I've been lucky to see it.
All right.
But you know what? So there is the iconic footage with your dad working on the building. Were you all there that night?
Yes.
Tell us about that footage.
Well, now
that woman was just, she was in the street, she was really gone.
Oh yeah. Well, the whole church was gone. But you must understand at that particular time, I think he was 11, I'm 12. My third oldest brother was 13,
Okay.
and my oldest brother was 14. Now he's unable to be here tonight because the Lord's will, he'll be getting out of the hospital today.
Yes.
But he truly wanted to be here,
Wow.
but he weren't blessed to get out, but he was blessed to go home. So that's the best place for him, based on the situation. And I wanted to come. I had a procedure on Wednesday last week, but I told my wife if I feel strong enough, I want to come here.
Well, we thank God you're here.
Yes.
But look, okay, so I know we ain't going to get a chance to talk about that, but I want you all to just give some brief words of encouragement to the audience. Say something.
Yeah.
Speak to the people.
Well, we'd like to thank God for individuals like yourself and who travel around and try to find people who've been doing singing and gospel for a long time. I think it's a wonderful thing for the saints of God to be encouraged. So there's an awful lot of people who've been working in the gospel and singing for a long time, and they feel as though it has not been appreciated. But our work is in God's hand.
Oh, yes. Come on.
And the ultimate pay that we will receive will be given by Him. But we want the saints to be encouraged in this day-to-day process, in this walk. Sometimes it gets a little tedious.
You better stop that.
But be encouraged, because God records it all.
Come on, somebody.
So be encouraged. That would be my word.
My God, what about you, Pastor?
I just said I like to ditto what he just said, and also I like to add that if I had to do it all over again, if I had to do it all over again, if I had another life,
Come on.
I would do it.
Just the same.
I would do it. And it's been a wonderful, glorious journey
Glorious journey.
in serving God.
Come on.
In serving God. Serving the Lord will pay off.
It will pay off. It might not be tomorrow, but after a while.
It will pay off. When it's time to pick up the paycheck. It just ain't time to pick it up yet. But when it's time to pick it up, you don't have to worry about payday.
And it's in the long run. It may take a while, but it gets you there after a while.
And then if you're serving the Lord now, popular culture has messed a lot of things up because some people think the culture is going to pay you. No, the culture is not going to pay you. The Lord said, whatever is right, I'll pay. So you don't have to worry about getting paid.
Wow.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Your buddy used to say, "At a while."
Bye, you guys.
They can log on to it and watch it. Amen? All right. Y'all ready to get into some awards? No, y'all didn't hear. I said, y'all ready to get into some awards? All right. So here to introduce our first award for the night is our Legend Award. He is a singer, songwriter, gospel. He studies gospel history, writes about it. Y'all welcome to the stage, my man, Eric Maurice Clark. Clap your hands for him.
Hello, everyone. Such a beautiful occasion. Won't you give yourselves a round of applause? So, one would wonder what contributions of Phoenix, Arizona made to gospel music. Have we contributed to the ongoing evolution of the genre? It's easy to relish in the churchy and the beautiful sound of Eddie James or his latter contemporary career. But let's journey back about 50 years ago, August of 1966 to be exact. Apostolic Records, a makeshift label founded in Los Angeles, merged with a Phoenix visionary, Irma Norfolk, and recorded the Mountain State Mass Choir right here in the Valley of the Sun. But if we should subtract 3 years from 1966, we're in the era of the legendary Overstreet Brothers. Reverend Overstreet, a valiant reverend, native of Louisiana, born 1921, had an innate spirituality that captivated those in search for a spirituality. Music was his mainstream in his presentation, especially his guitar picking and his husky voice. In Louisiana, Reverend Overstreet and his four brothers, his four sons, Louis Jr., Albert, Robert, and Alvin, they sung souls from mental despair, from physical despair, but most importantly, they sung souls to Christ. But their authentic singing on the street, it caught the attention of Chris Strachwitz from the black church, where we like to clap our hands. Now, I'm not a singer, but I do see Reverend Denard right there. Do you know I'm working on a building, or I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord? I know you know that type of stuff. You're from Chicago. Come on up here. Would you hit that just a little bit for us? Come on.
I'm a soldier, soldier. I'm a soldier, soldier. I'm a soldier. I'm a saving Christ soldier. This week, I know him to be a healer. I was in a regional hospital on Wednesday. Had a procedure, but God.
Right here. Now you were singing back in Louisiana too, right? On the street. So look, so I'm gonna let him explain a little more in detail, but I just want to give an overall picture of what's going on here. So if you all get a chance, yes, is he related to Reverend Lewis? This is the son. So listen, so when you all get a chance, look up Reverend Louis Overstreet, and you will definitely understand what I'm talking about. The music that they presented was authentic, straight up Jubilee, Church of God in Christ, hand clapping, foot stomping music, and I'm so honored to ask you some questions. So tell me how life was in Louisiana.
Actually, we did a lot of, started very young, and my father began preaching on the street, and he started us out to singing and playing instruments. And one played the triangle, I played the washboard, one played the tambourine, one played the cymbals, and we sang as a group.
Wow.
And we would sing in the cities, on the streets, beaches, areas where sometimes some church people wouldn't even go. And one of the greatest memories, or two of the greatest memories I remember when we sang at Galveston Beach. Thousands of African Americans, because we were still segregated.
Yes.
And I never forgot that thousands, we were just surrounded, that the men folks would have to come in. And they would say, get the crowd back so these little boys could breathe.
Wow.
But anyway, the same thing in Shreveport, Louisiana, where we were before we moved to Arizona. We were in Shreveport. My dad was pastoring. And he started service downtown, and they gathered by the hundreds. So finally the police came and said, all the streets are blocked. Reverend, he said, God knows we need it. But he said, we're going to have to ask y'all to stop because all the streets are blocked. The buses can't get through. And that was one of the largest crowds I've seen and enjoyed seeing because it's right downtown at the city courthouse.
Wow.
And then they sent us down to the bridge where we could, then the people followed us there and we had them by the hundreds.
Wow.
But anyway, our life was one of preaching on the streets, singing on the streets, and occasional revivals in churches, but street ministry. My father got known for the street ministry.
Wow.
And he had the guitars, the amp, the speakers. He did not just use a bullhorn like they were doing in those days. He had actual, and we would draw a crowd immediately.
Wow. Wow.
And this was a little different than Martin Luther King did, and all of them marching and drawing people by the thousands. In those days, you just start up service and you gather, people gather around by the hundreds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm just so blessed. I've enjoyed being in Arizona. Want you to pray for the family. All four of the boys are still living and striving. We're all in the 70s club now.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Okay, 70s club.
On Broadway. At that time, Broadway and Buckeye for African Americans were more popular. And we set up just where they be good time, and we hooked up mic and stuff and started singing and started preaching, and it drew the crowd.
Really? You remember some of the songs you all sang on the street?
Huh?
What's some of the songs that you all sang on the street?
At that time, back in 1961, we got here July 4th.
July 4th, okay.
61. It's a lot of years ago. At that time, traditional Kojic songs.
Like I'm a soldier, okay.
Yeah.
Working
I'm
on
a
a
soldier,
building,
yeah.
okay.
Running for Jesus. We sang a lot of those old tunes, and my dad would preach, and then he would sing, and then we would sing, and then sometimes he even made a song right on the spot.
On the spot.
And we just, somehow we were so close together, we could just jump right in. Live.
So did you start shouting when you were singing?
Yeah, I grew up in it, and and I'm glad I did. Still, my children are still working in the ministry, and we grew up in the church.
Wow.
Like some people, I never left, and been in it now for 74 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last but not least, tell us.
Yeah, we were Kojic. We
Yeah.
were Church of God Christ. And I guess as early as I can remember, seemed like 57 or 58, we started going to Memphis, and we were having service right there in front of Mason Temple.
Wow.
And you get a chance, you get Gilbert Patterson did an article similar to what you're doing here. And he did it before he died.
Oh, wow.
They did it. And A lot of them, even when Bishop Anderson was bishop here, he said he remembered when we would be in Memphis.
Before I get off here, because actually I'm going to feature you on Gospel Diaries, but did you ever get a chance to meet Bishop Harrison Mason? Bishop Mason.
I never got to meet him and talk to him face to face, but I got to see him.
You saw Harrison Mason,
Yeah.
Bishop. Okay.
Back in 58, 59, 60, when we would go, you could actually see him and Utah Smith. And-
Wait, Utah Smith,
Yeah.
the recording artist?
No, he played guitar.
Yeah, guitar. He recorded in the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
Utah Smith.
You
yeah.
could actually see them praising the Lord. And Bishop Mason would go off in tongues. And he'd just go off. And I'd see him up there and he'd just go off and then anointing in tongues when I saw him in person. But I never got to actually shake his hand or meet him. But I remember Bishop Mason, Dr. Ware. Dr. Ware was a walking psychologist. Not psychologist, a walking Christian dictionary. You name the scripture, they would just sit down from all over the country and ask him questions and scriptures, and just from his mouth, at the top of his head, without opening his Bible, he answered them.
Wow.
And I enjoyed. That was awfully exciting.
Wow.
You know. And I'm glad that we're going back to our homeland. Hopefully this year we're going to actually be in Memphis.
Really? Okay.
We were supposed to be there the last 2 years, but the COVID kind of knocked us out.
Right.
But the intentions were to be in Memphis for.
Tell them bye. Say bye. Hey, wave at the camera. Rev, wave at the camera. Tell them bye.